Alright, in the car, headed for another workout. Waited a little later this morning to go. Sherry was still in the bed, give her an opportunity to sleep and decide if she wanted to go or not when she got up, so she decided she would go later. Gonna try to get in a heavy leg day today. Got all my stuff, all my garb, gloves, book. Mask, all that good stuff. Right now, all I'm doing really is just trying to build myself back up. I'm not really isolating specific muscles or muscle groups. I do a full body workout to just get myself back in at least halfway decent shape before I start actually working on specific muscle groups. Lost a lot of muscle in my legs, my lower half, while in the hospital. I really wasn't confined to the bed, but I wasn't able to eat a whole lot either for like maybe about a week. I ate as much as I could, but it wasn't a lot. And you know, when you're full of pain meds and I was taking, you know, a handful of meds 3 times a day plus IVs, you know, your stomach is just not good. It's not healthy trying to digest all that stuff. You know, even if it doesn't go through your stomach, you know, it still affects it. But what I noticed was, being a CF patient, you have to eat like an insane amount of calories a day, and if you eat clean, it's a little difficult to do, but it's doable. You just have to force yourself to eat. So I need more calories than what they were giving me in the hospital. Of course, somebody had it put in my chart that I was diabetic, which I'm not, or wasn't. I am on insulin now because of the medications that I had to take messed with my insulin levels, and I'm trying to get that fixed and figured out, but so far it's been good. But so they had me on a diabetic diet in the hospital. I was only allowed like 75 grams of carbs a day, and that's extremely difficult. I never realized how hard it was to manage carbs like that and keep it in that small amount. And it cracks me up because a lot of people think they go on these diets. You know, Atkins was real popular years ago, and now we've got keto and paleo and all of that, and they basically cut out their carbs. I mean, in my opinion, if you want to get healthy, don't worry about cutting out carbs. Worry about cutting out, you know, processed stuff and sugar, refined sugar. You know, you're going to get sugar and carbs in everything you eat. You know, everything you eat is going to have some mix of proteins, fats, and carbs in it. It may be, I mean, you eat an apple, there's not much fat in an apple, obviously. You know, measurable amount, but everything has that mix in it. And to, you know, somehow or for some reason say carbs are the enemy is sort of misguided, because, man, let me tell you, you get down to 75 carbs a day and you're going to notice a drop in your energy levels. I'm not even lying. I was feeling great in the hospital, and even though I was still, you know, early in my recovery and couldn't go very long simply because of muscle fatigue. Part of it was because I just wasn't getting the food I needed, the carbs. So when I got out, I talked to the endocrinologist, and they had me just chasing numbers at first. And I was like, listen, I need to eat more than the average person because of the CF, the enzymes, the malnutrition that comes along with that. You've really got to pack it in. And she was like, okay, so we did come up with a different plan for my insulin that I'm using for now, and so far it's been working. And I've really been watching my diet as far as my macros go, as proteins, carbs, and fats. I'm hitting my target on everything except protein. Protein's difficult to get in if you don't just eat, massive amounts of protein-rich stuff. And that's sort of where I'm at. I need a better tracker than MyFitnessPal. I'm thinking of actually subscribing to the upgraded version and getting their macros counter to help me out a little more. But if it can be done without it, I really would like to, because I don't like subscribing to things. I wouldn't even pay gym dues if I had my own gym, right? Like, if I could get all of this stuff and put it in a building, I would use it at home. But I also like the gym atmosphere, so I probably would still pay for gym dues. Anyway, but a lot of people stress, and I know my wife has struggled with weight, and that's one of the things that I have tried to get through to her and preach to her over the years is carbs are not bad. Carbs are good for you. Too many carbs is bad, just like too much of anything is bad. It don't matter how good it is for you. If you eat too much of it, it's going to be bad. You can gain weight eating nothing but lettuce every day, all day. But if you get too much lettuce, you're going to put on weight. That's just the short and skinny of it. And people think these diets are just a magical pill, because the diet actually has you cutting out carbs, which carbs, we eat high carb diets if you really get to looking at what you're eating. Sorry, it's a telemarketer. And so when you start cutting out those carbs, you start cutting calories, and people don't make the connection for some reason, it seems, and they just start preaching these diets. Oh, you got to do keto, because it does this with your body. No, guys, listen, if you want to lose weight, eat less food and move more. I mean, it's that simple. And then when you get to where you want to go doing that, if you still want to lose more, but you have plateaued, you have stopped losing, then add exercise. Start paying attention to your macros. Start making sure you're getting the right amount of protein and fats and carbs in combination to help you lose that extra 10 or 15 pounds that you're after. It's not like you have to just quit eating them. And it's difficult, it takes time, and it takes effort. And people just, they just don't want to take the time to do it. And it's really not that hard once you get in the habit. Starting off, yes, you're going to struggle, you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to want to quit. And most people do. But if you stick with it, you'll find not only do you start grocery shopping according to your eating habits and getting the foods that you need, you'll start eating that way as well. And like, well, what if you go out to eat? Well, I mean, if you go to a sit-down restaurant, then you can order anything off the menu you want, right? And you can order any combination of stuff. And if it comes with something you don't want, that you don't want or can't have, don't eat it. But if you go to like a fast food joint, it's difficult to eat on a good diet. But if you're like me, you really don't have to worry about that stuff, because like I said before, being a CF patient, you've got to have calories, and it really don't matter where you get them as long as you're getting them, unless it's from sugar. If you're a CF patient and you are just scarfing down the sweets, donuts, candy bars, Cokes, quit it. Stop it right now. Throw all of what you've got away and pay attention to what you're eating. one of the biggest things in my life was Coke. I was a Coke addict. I love Coke. I still love Coke. I haven't had one since June 7th of this year. I got my lung transplant, and I had one in my hospital room, and my stomach was upset, and Coke always usually calms my stomach down. So I got a little bit of it, and I was drinking it, and the doctors come in, and they seen it, and we communicated, did our little spiel, and then they left. Well, when they left, one of the nurses come back in, and she was like, they really don't want you to have Coke. And I mean, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I mean, I love Coke. It was my go-to drink and everything. A good cold, ice cold Coke on a hot day is just satisfying. I don't care who you are. But that was where I was at, and it wasn't necessarily because of the Coke or anything like that. It was just that they didn't want me to have the carbonation, because you can burp. It causes a little bit of, it can cause acid reflux. You burp, and you can also aspirate a little bit into the lungs. You don't want that with a new set of lungs. So I gave it up. I'm one of those kind of people. I can't do something in moderation. Or let me take that back. I can do stuff in moderation, but I can't do like one every so often. I'm not that kind of person. If I'm going to quit it, I'm going to quit it completely. And I'm going to do it just cold turkey. Just drop it and not go back. But that's something that was a little difficult. I mean, I had some headaches with that and everything else. But again, now that I'm off of it, I'm drinking a lot more water, I've noticed, just naturally. So that's always a good thing, especially with the lungs. So keep that in mind. And we're about to the gym. Missed my exit, so I got to go down a little bit farther and get off the freeway. But yeah, it's just a matter of being disciplined. You can take anything to the extreme. I like watching documentaries and things about bodybuilders. Their drive and their passion, their dedication just fascinates me. But get motivated, get some exercise. If you're a CF patient, you're like me, you want to gain weight, the gym is the best way to do it. Muscle weighs more than fat. So the more muscle you can get, the more you're going to weigh. Also, it's just the exercise is just good for your lungs. It's good for that airway clearance. If I had been able to exercise like I used to probably the last 3 or 4 years, I wouldn't probably had to have had a lung transplant now. I probably could have held it off for a little longer. But having everything going that I did, I couldn't get in the gym as often. I had so much going on. But that's another talk. So that's my little spiel, I guess, my little soapbox rant on nutrition. It's extremely important for CF patients. You've got to do it. You've got to get those calories in. I find liquid calories are the easiest. I drink a lot of milk. I drink protein shakes, a lot of Boost, that kind of thing. One little box of Boost is, close to 300 calories. You combine that with a glass of milk and you've got over, 500 calories right there. So do it throughout the day. Don't just try to, get all your calories in with breakfast or lunch or supper. Eat a little bit throughout the day and you'll find that it's a lot easier to get those calories in. But get them in, guys. You got to have them. Your body needs them, especially to help fight with the disease. It's already run down from having to constantly go. So get those calories in. And we will see you next time. We love y'all. God bless.